our scene shot. Oh, you're gonna do it on the left side. Oh, I forgot. This is his good side. This is, hey everybody, if you don't know, this is Scott Ludwig, our technical director. And this is kind of your home most days, right?
A little bit,
Yeah, it's cozy. It's a little cold wearing our jackets in here tonight. But welcome back, everybody. This is our last segment of our Giving Tuesday Facebook Live event, and we hope that you've been joining us throughout the day. And if you haven't, we're excited to tell you that we are getting very close to our $5,000 gift match. So every new gift that we received will be matched dollar for dollar up to $5,000, and we are inching closer to that goal. So there's still time to donate at paplayers.org/donate. Our phones are closed, but you can donate online, or you can give us a call tomorrow. We can apply it then too as well. We've also had a couple of other very generous supporters who've given additional gifts. So we are very excited about the progress we've made today. So, and we're also here to share with you, why your gift matters. And so Scott's going to chat with us a little bit about your role here at Palo Alto Players and, how you got involved. So tell us a little bit about how you came to Palo Alto Players, because you've been our technical director for almost 2 years now?
Getting up there.
Yeah, getting there, but that wasn't your first introduction to us.
Right, I started doing props, actually.
Oh.
Cow standing watch up there was something I made for Spam-A-Lot a couple years back. Then I did props for a couple more shows. And then, I joined you guys full time around 2 summers ago.
And tell us a little bit about what does a technical director do?
A lot of it is logistics. A lot of it is going from how we're going to take the artist's vision and turn that into what that final product is. So as that relates to the set, I get a bunch of big things and I make them smaller in very specific ways, and then I put them back together to make them big again. A lot of it is also coordination. So making sure that we have the necessary skill sets available when we need them, making sure that I have, someone who can work as an assistant to me when I need them, somebody who can paint the set when it's ready to be painted and not before. That's where a lot of that comes from. It's a lot of emails and a lot of conversations. So
you're facilitating a lot of the production elements. So we have a lighting designer, a costume designer, a props designer, you have your director, sometimes a choreographer, your music director, and you are basically keeping all of those parties in communication from the beginning of the production process, and you're also overseeing the hiring of these individuals too.
That's right. Yeah, most of them, and not the directors, not the choreographers, but a lot of our designers, a lot of our technical staff. Yes.
Yeah, and you are also a designer yourself.
I am.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your props designer and.
I think. Well, okay, if I can indulge a little bit, maybe people would find this interesting.
It's 8 o'clock. We're just hanging out.
11 or 12 years old, and I got these Star Wars books called The Art of Star Wars, and it has all these gorgeous paintings and sketches by Ralph McQuarrie that basically defined what Star Wars looked like. And one of the reasons I found that very interesting is because it shows this process of the first iteration, the first attempt, and then how that evolved over time to give us a final look. And so I got very interested in design, character design, set design, prop design. And when I was in high school, started designing the sets for all the shows there. Then went to college and made my way through the industry. It's an industry.
It is. I like it. Sounds very industrial.
Yeah. It makes me sound industrious.
All right, and you've brought a couple things to show us here, right? Oh, look, it's doll's house.
Well, I'm not going to show you guys too much of a doll's house because it's a little bit early for that, but this is something submitted by our designer, Chris Fitzer. And this is kind of the very beginning of getting a layout of what I'm going to have to be building. From this, I'm going to make a couple construction drawings, something I can figure out how to communicate to the carpenters. and I'm going to make a cut list, and then I'm going to order a lot of lumber. This is one of our most minimalist sets, so I'm hoping it's going to be very elegant, very beautiful, and it's not going to have a lot of moving parts.
Okay. And you said a cut list. What is a cut list?
I'm going to have to make 36 at 1 by 4 by 96, or I'm going to have to make like 24 cuts of a certain size.
Okay.
And so that's how I'd like to try to start out. And it looks like nothing is happening for a couple days, and then suddenly the set starts to take shape.
And how much of it can you are you building here in the set shop versus when you load into the theater? What's a little? I mean, I know that probably is different for every show, but what does that look like for you?
The goal is to get everything built and then pushed on stage, and in this case, screwed down. We try not to do any painting on stage. Sometimes that's unavoidable. Also, in this case, we will be painting the stage itself, so nothing we can do about that. But luckily, this is not the only space we have to work in. We do have a paint shop that we sometimes are able to use for a couple days to a week before load in proper. It all depends. We're sharing our spaces. So
yeah. What else do you want to? You have other things you want to? I think there's other things you brought to show us. Oh, here's a.
How about the Red Bull first?
Oh, the red. Yeah.
What does that mean?
It is my workspace. So.
This is Scott's drink of choice.
Yes.
There are worse things. Okay.
This is a miniature of the set for Shakespeare in Love. You got to get really low to where the groundlings would be. And so, this was a set I designed last year. The real one was much larger. I have a photograph of that too, if you're interested.
Oh, there you go.
You need to see what the final
Before and
product
after.
was.
Yeah.
So it gives our standard operation is producing a 3D model before we build the real thing. This had a blue lit cyc behind it. So
Now, how does a designer submit designs to you? I mean, there's a model. I'm not sure. This is the. I don't know what do you call this?
Oh, this is a ground plan.
A ground
we have
plan
a couple sectional elevations here. The final design is going to have to be in some sort of a three-dimensional form, whether that's on a computer or something built in miniature.
Yeah.
And I am going to need paint elevations so that the scenic painter knows what they're going to be painting. And this is also something we have to submit to the lighting designer so they know where they are going to need to hang lights, what line sets they're going to have available, and where how many boxes they're going to need. It's also something we have to submit to the sound designer. Sound is much more complicated than I had ever thought, because they need to know where to put the monitors, they need to know where to hide mics. So it's all a rich tapestry, as I say.
Sure. Yeah. Do you have, so what's coming up for you? You have your work, technical director for this show, but you've got some design work coming up for...
I will be designing for Matilda in April.
Wow. Okay.
That's going to be it's a glorious... because it's the style of the show. Is that it's colors and form.
Meant to be that way.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And then after that, we're going to be doing another very small scale show. We're going to be doing An Act of God in June, July.
Yeah, something like that. Do you have like a favorite? I mean, we were taking a look at the big cow up here, but which is, I mean, that is, that's in depth. Do you have like a favorite, prop that you've designed for a show?
As far as something I can show you now,
Just show it. You could.
I can show you
okay.
the Queen Elizabeth's coat of arms.
Yeah.
Another thing I did for Shakespeare in Love.
Wow.
So that is carved out of foam because it allows me to work very, very quickly to get something that doesn't look like foam from the audience.
Yeah, and actually one of your creations is actually hanging in someone's apartment now. The shiny penny
That
from
is correct.
Bright Star. They loved it so much that it's now part of their home decor. So.
Yeah, every show has at least something that somebody asks me if they can take home with them. There were a couple things from Flower Drum Song that people, made the effort to get clearance so they could actually keep it afterwards.
That's right. That's
Karen
right.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you were here earlier today, Scott actually built the leg. You can actually see the leg lamps here in the background. And these were the dance props, and he actually added bases for each of the leg lamps. So you truly can have this as your very own leg lamp and put it in your window. And we had some very generous donors that will be taking these home and doing their own choreography and such. I don't know. Yeah, these are pretty fascinating. Yeah, so this is our scene shop. Anything else you want to share with us about your woods? How about like the when you are designing? Tell us a little bit about your process. Like when you how do you go about?
Right. When I design a set, set is about context. And I'm going to sound like a very pompous inside the actors theater type here, but it is not necessarily about what is going on inside the characters' minds. It is about the setting, and usually directors are making this distinction. So if you're doing something that's very dramatic, and they say, well, we should have a very dramatic set for that, and my thoughts are not necessarily. Let's see, sometimes drama comes from counterpoint. You take the Scottish play. It's one I designed a few years ago. There's a lot of brutality, a lot of violence in that, and a lot of productions want to make the set look very dark and cracked and eroded. Whereas I thought it was much more powerful having it look clean and pristine in a place where a royal family lives. And all of the horror, the violence was a counterpoint to that. So that's part of my process. And of course there's you look at the period, you look at probably the info that I need first is what does the director need the set to do.
Sure.
And they're not always completely.
Has there been an outrage, something outrageous that you thought was outrageous, but then at the end of the day you were like, that's pretty cool, that worked out.
Oh, like a artistically outrageous kind of a choice.
Like a turntable. No.
Oh, we'll just raise the entire theater up 14 inches to accommodate.
Why not?
Actually, those big trusses that were kind of the centerpiece of the Bright Star set. That was a bit of a technical challenge, but I think it paid off nicely. It looked like it was flying over the stage itself, and it just required a little bit more engineering, a little bit more of the legwork to figure out how to make that thing work. Kind of the same thing with Flower Drum. We had 4 flats that were flying up and down and left and right at the same time, and it's kind of like taking apart a watch. You figure out the first step, you figure out the second step, and eventually you figure out what mechanics you're going to need to make that thing work.
All right, so we'll be looking forward to A Doll's House and then seeing your designs for Matilda, and exciting season ahead of us. Thanks for joining us.
You're welcome.
You're late today, and if you ever want to stop in and see Scott, he'll be here in the set shop. So I think that's about going to wrap it up for us today for our Facebook Live event, and we've sure had a lot of fun today. I know I've had fun today, and Karen is actually behind the camera now, and Karen's had fun today too. There she is.
I have had fun, yes.
Yeah, we're the last one standing. Everybody else is home. No, no, we've had a great time, and it's always great to to have a financial goal and to and to reach that goal. But it really isn't about the money. It really is about the impact that you can have. And at Palo Alto Players, we really are about community, and we believe in the importance of live theater here in our community. Believe that it has the power to change lives and transform lives. And that's what your gift can do. And I was If you've been to any of our shows and come into our lobby, you'll probably see this hanging on the wall. And when we passed our strategic plan almost a year ago now, and we had refined our mission statement, but we really felt like there was something else that we needed to articulate that really encompassed the experience, not just what you see on our stage, but from the time you walk through our doors. And so we landed on this ideology, which I'll share with you, which is, at Palo Alto Players, we put community first, and we ensure everyone who walks through our doors feels welcomed and valued, because we believe that people matter, we believe that theater matters, we believe that theater should matter to more people. And your gift makes theater matter to more people. With your support, we can do more, we can reach more, we can inspire more. So thank you for being a part of this day, this wonderful day of celebrating giving. Thank you for supporting players. Thank you for supporting other organizations today. It's really a wonderful feeling that I hope that you'll take with you. So thank you all so much again, and we look forward to seeing you at the theater again soon. Have a wonderful night.
Good night.
Good night.